Hey, what is up, lads? Welcome back to the new review of the Monster Train. This game was picked by us recently, so we're gonna try it, observe it, and tell our opinions about it. Please like, comment and subscribe and be ready for the new updates. So here we go. Monster Train is a roguelike deck builder. The premise is that there is a train holding the final ember of the fire that keeps hell flames burning. The train must be kept moving to avoid the winging millions of heaven that are trying to extinguish it. Minions are summoned to defend the train and keep it rolling along. Recently I watched the Snowpiercer TV show by Netflix and there is a lot of trains in my life. But anyway, this game is okay for me. To be completely honest, I'm a big fan of the card deck genre, so it was very fun. Let's return back to the review. At the start of each run, players will choose 2 or 5 total different clans, each with their own quirks. The Hellborn are all about the powerful monsters and the sacrificial imps. Awoken deal in spikes and regeneration. Umbra eat friendly minions to power themselves up, and more. Their choices will determine on who hero unit and supporting cards they have to start with. Regardless of what they choose, each run will help players making their way through a procedurally generated map, collecting resources and cards while battling the winged. While this might sound like a standard deck builder formula so far, where Monster Train difference is the train itself. The train is divided into 3 levels, attacking which will start on the first level and fight any minions there, and if not defeated, they move up to the next level. Each floor of the train can only hold a limited number of monsters, so the question is how many monsters and of what kind should be placed on each level. Stronger monsters take up more room and can occasionally fill up a room all by themselves. On the other hand, perhaps a swarm of smaller monsters is the way to go. Each minion has values for attack, power and health. Minions can only be played once per battle, so players must keep the train tired layout in mind and effectively plan deployment locations in order to keep them alive and defending for as long as possible. In addition to the minions, deck also contains mirror spell cards that can be used multiple times, like for example it's a healing, the damage, the spells and etc. etc. And some powerful cards can only be used once per combat or even once per run. Further enriching the gameplay, Monster Train cards have slots for enhancements. Available from shops along the road, they can give stat boost to health and defense, make cards cheaper to play, or even double or triple their card power. Enhancement can also give minions special abilities like a multi-attack, a lifesteal, or being returned to the deck instead of discard pile once it's defeated. The library of cards in Monster Train is deep enough to keep things interesting all by itself, but enhancement expand the options a great deal. In other deck builders I've played, the starting cards are often throwaways only useful for the first few battles, but that's not the case in Monster Train. Here each card can easily work with any other even before enhancements, and each has multiple strategic uses. I've pulled victory from defeat using basic cards played effectively. Every card is worthwhile, and when the players feel like they're stuck, Monster Train offers multiple options to either swap adding cards or removing cards from a deck, which basically eliminates the possibility of getting stuck with a handful of useless cards. As players complete successful runs, they unlock Covenants. These are challenge modes that tweak the game slightly to give players a bit more challenge. This can come in form of enemies having more health, penalty cards added to the deck, shop price going up, and so on. When players have wiped the floor with the winged, they can take their skills online to play a daily challenge for the highest score. There is also a multiplayer variant where up to 8 players, all starting with the same deck, see who can get to the end of the line the fastest. Creative players can dip into a custom challenge mode where they can create their own runs with various modifications. As far as deck builders go, Monster Train is fantastic. The general strategy and the quirks of fighting on a multi-level train make it stand out as its own sort of unique puzzle that rewards players for cleverness. The runs are fast, it's easy to learn, and the challenge modes give plenty deep and replay. Get on board before it leaves the station. Well, an inversion of most games setups, Monster Train puts you in control of legions of hell desperate to protect a train, delivering the last power capable of stopping hell from completely freezing over. To do this, you have to travel region by region through the underworld, gathering and strengthening your army and defending your 3-story locomotive from a slew of heaven's forces determined to snuff out the underworld once and for all. It is not much narratively, but I wouldn't expect it to be in a game like this. What's there works and gives reason for some unique creative creatures along the way. Much like Slay the Spire, Monster Train is a turn-based roguelike deck builder, which sounds like a lot of buzzword malarkey, but it's a genre marriott made in heaven. The game is broken into distinct sections, the regions of hell, each one consisting of one battle. In each battle, you'll be tasked with summoning units and sliding spells to stop a wave of heavenly fighters from moving on the floor at the time. Up to the 3rd floor of your train, you execute the pyre. What you can summon is up to the drops from your deck, and while your deck starts out one leader, some weak damage spells and some squishy generic defenders, you'll quickly be given the opportunity to beef up what you're playing with. After every fight, I'll get to choose some new cards, and before every fight you have the opportunity to do the things like gain artifacts, permanent buffs or abilities, gain cards, purge cards and more. Well, actually, let's move to the strategy and decisions. The actual gameplay mechanics are fantastically simple to understand, but they work together to create an incredible amount of depth. Adding, removing and upgrading cards is simple, but which card you do this to in order to support your overarching strategy is the key. That big thought unit you have the opportunity to recruit may do more damage than anything else you have, but if you are building a frostbite spell or defensive spike deck, is he really going to help you? Probably not. What the strategies you are using are largely going to be determined by which of the 5 clans you choose as your primary clan, but the things are made even more interesting by the requirement to choose a secondary clan as well. I spent a good amount of time experimenting with different combinations, each one lending itself to a very different style of play. They say adventures are about the journey, not the destination, and which road your journey takes through hell is important too. After each battle, you'll be given the choice of 2 roads for your train to take, and this decision determines which opportunities you have to strengthen your deck and train. You can see exactly which options are on each road, save for the caves, which offer random but always positive encounters, so I oftentimes had to put some 2 into whether say my pile really needs some healing or if I wanted a chance to recruit a true new unit. The journey is also a joy because everything looks fantastic. While the cards and fonts look straight out of the Hearthstone, each friendly and enemy unit is creative, unique and engaging to look at. You'll be able to control everything from classic horned demons to meat people and the forces of heaven, which are made up of far more than angels. It's clear that a lot of care and attention went into the character design, and it really did a lot to put me into the game. Between being able to mix and merge primary and secondary factions, unlocking new faction specific cards, and the random nature of the game, replayability is fantastic. While the most few runs with each faction may be the most exciting before you figure out the optimal card set for each. Further playouts rewards critical thinking and strategy between 3 factors to unlock in addition to the 2 standing ones and the generous number of the faction cards available to unlock. Not to mention the ability to make and share custom challenges online. This is a game that's easy to come back to time and time again, and you will want to come back. While it's easy to cast aside a game that takes inspiration from another as too derivative, it is hard to complain when the results are this fun. Monster Train provides that sometimes it's good to be bad. Well, my score is 9.8, and to be honest, there are a lot of pros, but I didn't see any cons. For example, I didn't want it to compare the Monster Train and the Hearthstone because this is completely two different games. As for me, it's only my opinion and my partners. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Please comment, rate and subscribe. Wait for the new updates. Peace.